Welcome to this tutorial on developing a subflow to post notifications to Microsoft Teams when data is saved in the Turbo Forms app. This capability allows you to seamlessly integrate your forms with your Teams communication platform, keeping everyone informed about critical updates and actions. Prerequisites: you will need access to an MS Teams environment. If your company is not using Teams, you can still sign up for a free account if you want to test this flow. Alternatively, you can use the same process to post a message to Slack or any other messaging tool, as they all mostly follow the same process. Log in to your Teams app, click on Teams, and then select an existing team or create a new team. All the channels configured for that team are displayed. Click on the More Options icon and choose the Add channel. Enter the channel name as Turbo Apps, the type of channel to standard, and save. Click on the More Options icon next to the Turbo Apps channel and choose the Manage Channel option. Now click on the Edit button in the Connectors section. Search for Webhook and choose Incoming Webhook from the list and click on Add. A detailed dialog with information on incoming webhook is now displayed. Click on Add again. Enter the name as Turbo Apps, upload an icon if desired, or leave as default and click on the Create button. The webhook URL is now displayed. Remember to copy the webhook, as we will be configuring the flow with this later on. The URL is of the form as shown. That's it, we are now ready to build the flow. Let's get started. We'll create a subflow that other flows can call to post notifications to a specific Teams channel. Understanding the flow. Before we develop the flow, let's draw a flow chart of the different steps to save the data. Flow development. In the Forms list, click on the flow icon on the Computer Inspection row. A list of flows will be displayed. Now click on the Create button and choose the Subflow option. Title: enter Post Message to Teams. Description: enter description as Subflow to post a message to MS Teams channel or similar. Click on Save to create the flow. You will now be navigated to the Flow Builder. The Add Node dialog should already be open in the Flow Builder. If not, click on the Subflow node and then click on the plus icon displayed below it. Search for the JSON parser node by typing in JSON and clicking on it. The JSON parser node is now opened and you can configure it. Change the title to Extract Message and remember to connect the Subflow Node Success connector to this node. Else, the expression builder will not display all the possible fields and nodes. Since we want to work with the flow input, click on the Others section. For map field name, select Flow Input. Under Expression, click on the spanner icon to open the expression builder. Let us define the flow input JSON, which looks like this. To extract the message, copy and paste the flow input JSON into the JSON window on the left. The expression builder we use for JSON parsing is a tool called JSON ATA. The Teams webhook expects the message in JSON format as follows. We now need to extract the message field and prepare the JSON as Teams expects. BAPI user and password. Enter the username and password. The extracted message is now displayed at the bottom. Confirm that what is displayed is correct. Now click on Save and close the builder. Click on the Save icon and save the node. Click on the Extract Message node and then the plus icon below it. Search for the HTTP node to send REST requests by typing in HTTP and clicking on it. The HTTP node is now opened and you can configure it. Change the title to Send Teams Message and remember to connect the Extract Message Node Success connector to this node. We will add a new system to communicate with the MS Teams server. Later, if we need to work with a different API provided by the Teams server, we can reuse the server and modify the URL path we are communicating to. Click on the plus icon next to the server dropdown. The Add System dialog is displayed. Enter the following data: description, Teams, or anything else you desire. Identifier. This is a unique identifier for the system. Enter MS Teams. URL. From the URL you copied while configuring Teams, copy the portion from HTTPS until before the /webhook2. In the example above, this would be as shown. Set the authentication type to none, as the webhook does not require additional authentication. Set the OAuth provider to none. Save the system. Now choose the newly added MS Team system or the name that you entered above. Change the HTTP action to post. Content type and accept need to be application JSON. For URL path from the MS Teams URL that was copied earlier, start with the before the webhook to carefully until the end of the string. In the example above this would be as follows. Now, we need to configure the message. The Teams webhook expects the message in JSON format in the body parameter, which we have already prepared in the step above. Scroll down to the body data configuration and click the spanner icon to display the expression builder. From Extract Message, select the result. This is now displayed in the edit box below. Now click on the Save icon and save the node. Connect the Send Teams message node to Success. Now click on the Publish button to save and compile the subflow. If the compilation is successful, it will also be published and we can run it to test. Testing the flow. We are ready to test the flow now that we have published it. The Flow Builder has an integrated run and debug tool to help us troubleshoot the flow in case of errors. Now click on the Run Flow button. The Run dialog is now displayed. Since this is the first time we are running the flow, we need to enter form test data now by clicking the Form Data button and saving it. In the Run Flow screen, copy the flow input JSON from the document, paste it into the flow input field. The flow input now has the message we want to send to the Teams channel. Run the flow by clicking on the Run button. The flow should run successfully. If there are errors, they could be due to mistakes made while configuring the system, copying-pasting the expression, or something similar. Check each step carefully with the documentation above. Now log into your MS Teams app and check the newly created channel. You should now see the new message, "Hi from my Turbo app subflow," posted to the channel. Now click on Run Flow again. This opens the Run dialog, and you can now change the flow input to the following. Run the flow by clicking on the Run button. The flow should run successfully. Integrating the flow in the database flow. Navigate back to the Flows dialog by clicking on Flows in the breadcrumb in the title bar. From the list of flows, click on the Save to Database flow. Click on the Save for Data node, and then click on the plus icon that is displayed below the node. Search for the Subflow node by typing in Subflow and clicking on it. The Subflow node is now opened, and you can configure it. Change the title to Notify on Team, and remember to connect the Saveform Data Node Success connector to this node. Click on the Workflow dropdown and choose the post message to Team Flow that we just created. Leave the execution mode to the default. Execute as part of Parent Flow. Scroll down to the Flow input field and set it to the following. Click on the Save icon and save the node. Connect the Notify on Teams node to Success. Now click on the Publish button to save and compile the flow. If the compilation is successful, it will also be published, and we can run it to test. Now, run the flow. Once the form test data is saved to the PostgreSQL database on Supabase, a notification is also received on the Teams channel. And there you have it. You've successfully developed a subflow to post notifications to Microsoft Teams whenever data is saved in your Turbo Forms app. This integration lets you keep your team informed about important updates and actions in real time, enhancing collaboration and communication. Thanks for watching.